Welcome back to Movies Explained. Today's film is a horror drama from 2024 titled Speak No Evil. The film opens with a strange couple driving their kid to a farmhouse deep in the countryside. The scenes then spin to our lead American family, which is currently vacationing somewhere beautiful in Italy. The couple has a preteen daughter named Agnes, whom they stop from going into the resort's pool. A stranger named Patty approaches them while they're sunbathing and borrows their extra chair. Patty joins his wife and kid, where he drinks beers with them and jumps in the pool. Later, Ben and Louise leave Agnes with a babysitter and go for a collective lunch with other tourist couples, where Patty and his wife make them laugh with their gestures after getting bored by a Danish couple. Later, Agnes finds them on the road and creates panic for losing her childhood emotional support toy named Hoppy.
Come on, let's go sit down. Let's do some. Ben, I can handle another meltdown. Let's sit down. Let's do some breathing.
As they begin looking for it, Patty finds Hoppy and gives it back to Agnes. That's when Patty and his wife, Sierra, introduce themselves along with their son, Ant, who is mute. Agnes insists Ben give her a ride, seeing Patty's Vespa, but when Ben constantly refuses, Patty offers to give her one.
Oh, bye. You doing all right? It's natural.
When Patty returns with Agnes, he offers Ben and Louise to join them for lunch at a nearby place they like.
There is a really nice place around the corner.
At lunch, while Ant takes Agnes to play on the swings, Patty introduces himself as a doctor. Patty finds out they've never been in the West Countryside, so he insists that they comes to their house there. Soon, the same boring Danish couple arrives and offers them lunch, but Patty scares him away with his satirical jokes.
Oh, all right. Well, Louise is fold, Kira is scrunch, but you see, Ben and I, we worry that if you fold, you risk a puncture and you get a bit of poo on your finger. So, what should we do? Get another 3 chairs?
No, we were actually just looking to make a reservation for later.
The two couples hang out for another dinner and part ways the next morning. At home, Ben goes to put Agnes to sleep, where she again insists on keeping Hoppy by her side. Ben walks out and discusses this issue with Louise, who gets a text, which paranoids Ben in a certain manner. She then shows him the postcard they received from Patty and a group picture. At the back of it, he's written a very sweet letter asking them to join them in the West for a weekend. In order to get away from their troublesome marriage, they decide to take a long drive to the West to visit their new friends.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
Sierra welcomes them and apologizes for her messy house, which is raggedy and old-fashioned in reality. Louise secretly gets creeped out to see the room Sierra shows them. It gets worse when she shows them Agnes's room, which is actually a filthy attic, where Ant sleeps too. When it comes to dinner, Patty knows Louise is a sensitive vegetarian, but he still cooks his farm-raised duck and forces Louise to take a bite, which she spits out when they're not looking. Later, Ben helps Sierra take out the trash, where Ant struggles to tell him something, but he's unable to speak. Patty sees Ant and immediately calls him back inside in a cheerful manner. They send the kids to bed and smoke some pot to lighten up. Louise and Patty always come to a disagreement, no matter what the topic is. She gets concerned when she hears Ant's cries and wants to go check up on the kids. But Sierra and Patty refuse to let her do so and wait for Ant to stop on his own. When Louise flosses her teeth and comes to bed, she finds a huge stain on the sheets and becomes grossed out. But Ben keeps giving the countryside the benefit of the doubt, believing the place is regressive and old-fashioned compared to their city lifestyle. That night, Agnes joins them because she's afraid to sleep alone. The next day, Patty takes everyone for a long walk to connect with the nature. He even shows everyone how to start a fire using plants. There, Agnes wants to sway on the swing, but Ant won't move out of her way. Louise sees this and asks Patty to take over, who roughhouses with the kid and makes him give Agnes little pushes on the swing. Later, he makes everyone jump off the cliff and take a dive.
Can he swim?
Yeah. Same way I learned. Sink or swim. You'll be fine. Go on, Ant.
But Louise stays grounded and refuses to jump. When they return, she tries to blow out Agnes's hair, but the socket gets shot, which makes Louise uncomfortable and wanting to leave.
I don't find them that pleasant to be around.
Sierra intervenes and invites them for an outdoor dinner, to which they agree to go. When they're about to leave, they find out Patty has arranged a freaky immigrant to take care of the kids, who aren't going. Patty drives them far away to a place where they're the only customers. As Louise gets into another disagreement with Patty, we see Ant and Agnes playing hide and seek with the immigrant, during which Ant tries to hint to her something by showing Patty's watch collection, but Agnes doesn't get him. When they return and put the kids to bed, Ant shows his sore and bruised body to Agnes, which spooks him and raises ambiguity.
God, what did you do? How did you get those?
Meanwhile, Louise and Ben get into a heated argument, in which they finally address the bothersome things about each other. Later, Louise has trouble sleeping, so she goes to check up on Agnes, only to find her missing from her room and sharing a bed with Patty and Sierra. She panics and immediately brings Agnes back to their room, where she demands packing up and leaving immediately. They leave at early dawn without telling Patty and Sierra. Unfortunately, Agnes breaks down, she's left Hoppy behind, and insists on going back to get it. The entire family gets into an argument,
We'll buy another Hoppy.
No, I need my hobby.
during which they almost get run over by a truck. They eventually return to the farm, where they end up confronting the reason why they left. Sierra puts up an emotional act and confesses to comforting Agnes only because she heard them fighting.
Paddy was asleep for the whole thing. That's my fault. Look, I know I can be overprotective as a mother. We had a baby daughter.
No.
And Mary, she died. So hearing Agnes crying, it just...
Ben and Louise get embarrassed and convinced to stay for another day. That noon, the women stay back with the kids, where Aunt draws something but eats the paper immediately when the mothers come to see their drawings. Meanwhile, Patty and Ben go hunting, where Ben spills everything about Louise's secret affair, which has ruined their marriage. Patty makes him scream out loud in the open to relieve his unexpressed pain and traumas. When everyone unites back in the house, Louise mistakenly cuts off her finger while chopping the veggies. Ben is chill, knowing there's a doctor present, but Patty confesses that he's indeed not one with a dubious look on his face. Louise and Ben freeze in absolute horror, but Patty laughs and lightens them up, revealing he was only joking. Later, they have a tea session outside in the field, where the kids show their dance performance they have been practicing all this time. The Americans see Patty's ugly side when he keeps mocking Aunt for not dancing properly in an abusive manner. They end up yelling at Patty and pushing him away from Aunt. Louise again wants to leave, but Ben wants some caffeine first, so they sit with Kiara for a coffee, while Patty falls to his bed. As Sierra tries to justify Patty's tantrums, using mental health as a card, Aunt steals Patty's keys and takes Agnes inside the barn, where there's a secret hatchet, taking them to another room full of possessions from Patty's previous victims. He also shows her a photo album, which reveals that they steal the kid from all their targeted families, chop off their tongues, and make them their child to target the next family. Sadly, Aunt is also a victim from Patty's previously targeted family, who's being used as bait to target Agnes and her parents. He makes Agnes take pictures for proof. When Aunt goes to put the keys back, Patty wakes up and gives him a piggyback ride to show the Americans he's playful with his kid. Meanwhile, Agnes cuts her thigh to draw some blood and pretend that she's having her first period. She drags Louise to the bathroom and shows her the pictures, convincing Louise they're among psychopathic killers. Louise makes excuses in front of the family and brings Ben to the bathroom to reveal everything. Outside, Patty senses they've found out, but plays cool and lets them leave the farm, which they think is too easy to be true. When they get to their car, Patty points out it's punctured, so he helps them fix it. He takes Ben to his tool room, which confirms Patty is a psycho killer. Once the tire is fixed, Patty points out Agnes's Hoppy on top of their roof, which Louise thinks is one of Patty's dirty tricks. He brings in a ladder and makes Ben climb it to get Hoppy, during which he nearly falls. Just when they bid farewell and drive away, the family watches Patty throwing Ant in the pond. Ben immediately runs to help Ant from drowning, which enables the psychos to hold the girls hostages. They bring the family to their tool room, where they make Louise transfer all their funds to their account and plan on injecting Agnes with a sedative before chopping off her tongue. When he comes to untie Louise for Ciara to shoot her, she takes out her recently stolen cutter and aggressively cuts Patty's face. She also snatches the rifle from Ciara, while Agnes hides the sedative injection thrown in her direction. The family manages to escape from there and lock the tool room from outside. When they get back in their car, a friend of Patty's arrives and shoots their windshield, hurting them back inside their house and locking it. He then frees Patty and Ciara, who set out on a hunt to take down the family. After failing to make contact, Ben and Louise try throwing an alcohol bottle on fire out the window to light up the roof to grab attention, but their poor aim lands the bottle in Patty's car instead. As Patty shoots at them, they rush back inside to hide the kids in the bathroom cupboard, from where Louise gets a hold of some toxic cleaning products. While Patty becomes angry to see his car explode,
Oh, you blown up my car, you cheeky cunt!
his friend climbs the ladder and tries to enter the house from the attic. Patty also uses a crowbar to break open the back door, while Ciara enters from the basement hatch. Louise blocks the hall's door with a heavy dresser. And attacks Patty with a fork when he tries to enter from there. She also hears Ciara coming from the basement, so she locks that door and runs away. Patty angrily breaks open the door and lets Ciara in too. As they go to the bathroom, we see the friend looking for Ben upstairs. Ciara and Patty open the wrong cupboard because of Louise's strategy of putting her ringing phone in there. This allows her to splash the toxic product in Patty's eyes and run away with the kids. They get shot at by the friend, but Ben comes out from hiding and subdues him. The friend overpowers him, but Louise returns and kills the friend by jabbing the pointy side of the hammer in his head. On the contrary, Patty is struggling to see because of the attack and sends Ciara to hunt them. She finds them escaping from the window and making it to the rooftop, but she comes after them. Fortunate for others, she slips and falls off the roof, ultimately dying. When they all struggle to climb down from the ladder, Patty shows up and catches Agnes to shoot first, but she injects the stolen sedative in his rib and runs back to her parents. They immediately take away his gun so he doesn't shoot and try to leave, but Ant stays back and smashes his face to pulp using a brick. The film ends with the family driving away with Ant. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.